Drop you 70,000 years into the past, with everything you know today. You might imagine becoming a god before breakfast. The truth is uglier. You would probably be dead by sunset. No supermarket. No antibiotics. No language anyone around you understands. And your brilliant explanation of electricity is completely useless. Because you cannot build a generator from mud, bone, and panic. So what would you actually have to do to look like a genius? Not to us. To people whose survival depended on being right. First, forget the favorite answer. Invent fire. Humans had controlled fire hundreds of thousands of years before your arrival. Forget making a sharp rock, too. Stone tools are older than our species. And the wheel? In a roadless world, it is mostly a heavy circle. No roads. No axle workshop. No animal waiting to pull it. Ancient genius was not knowing a famous invention early. It was seeing a hidden possibility inside ordinary things. Imagine a stone point that cuts beautifully but keeps falling from its handle. Everyone knows the pieces. Nobody has made the pieces behave together. Then one person notices that birch bark can become something impossible. Heat it while starving it of oxygen, and white bark sweats black glue. That glue grips stone to wood. Add binding, and separate objects become one weapon. Neanderthals were making birch tar at least 190,000 years ago. That is not just a clever object. It is a chain of invisible steps. Gather the right bark. Control the heat. Keep air away. Wait without ruining it. Use the tar before it hardens. One mistake, and hours of calories disappear into smoke. Now you are closer to what ancient people might call extraordinary. You transformed matter. You predicted a result nobody could see inside the bark. And you built something no single ingredient could do alone. But invention is only half the test. A brilliant tool that nobody trusts is just an expensive personal problem. Picture the first demonstration. The point could snap. The glue could melt. The prey could escape. Worse, somebody may already hate the person holding it. Small communities are not laboratories with unlimited funding. Experiments consume food, time, attention, and sometimes blood. So the prehistoric genius needed more than imagination. They needed credibility. They needed a result that worked twice, then worked when somebody else copied it. Because a miracle is impressive. A method is revolutionary. This changes the definition of genius. The smartest person was not necessarily the one with the wildest thought. It may have been the person who made a strange thought teachable. An idea that cannot be taught dies with its inventor. And this is where archaeology tricks our imagination. Stone survives. Wood rots. Fiber vanishes. Skin dissolves. So the past looks more obsessed with rocks than it really was. Some of the most revolutionary inventions may have left almost nothing. A carrying net can move more food than two bare hands. A good knot turns weak fibers into stored force. Twisted cord can become a snare, a handle, a shelter, a bowstring. A fitted hide can turn a freezing migration into a survivable one. A container lets tomorrow's food exist today. None of these looks like lightning from the heavens, but each one changes the number of children who reach spring. That is what a real revolution looks like from inside survival. Not a statue. A quieter winter. Fewer empty places around the fire. More people alive to remember what worked. So what mental ability mattered most? Probably not raw memory alone. not speed alone. The dangerous gift was analogy. Seeing that one thing behaves like another. Sap sticks, sinew shrinks, stone fractures along hidden lines. The genius notices these behaviors, then combines them. That combination is the leap. Recent research on tool complexity points to planning, inhibition, and learning. Planning means holding steps in your mind before the first step works. Inhibition means not grabbing the tar too early. Learning means remembering failure without worshiping tradition. That last part is harder than it sounds. Tradition is not stupidity. Tradition is compressed survival data. Changing it risks reopening every lesson paid for by the dead. To innovate, you must disrespect the method without disrespecting the evidence. Now, imagine the inventor was not the strongest hunter. Maybe not an elder. Maybe not even an adult. Modern hunter-gatherer studies show that play and self-directed learning matter. Children copy. Teenagers modify. Peers teach peers. The revolutionary may have been the annoying kid who kept doing it wrong, until wrong worked better. Or the genius may have been someone archaeology barely lets us see. The person who improved food processing, infant care, weaving, or medicine. Daily technologies often vanish faster than hunting points. So our image of the ancient genius may be biased toward whatever fossilizes. The cleverest breakthrough could have been a recipe, a route remembered through a song, a warning story that kept children away from poisoned water, a social rule that stopped one argument from splitting the group. These are technologies made from attention instead of stone. They leave no blade, only descendants. Modern hunter-gatherer research offers another clue. Knowledge moves through wide networks, not one isolated camp. People visit, marry, trade, watch, copy, and return home changed. A useful idea can travel farther than its inventor ever walks, but only if the idea fits inside other human minds. This is why teaching may have been a form of leadership. Not leadership by force, leadership by becoming the person others choose to watch. That kind of status is fragile. One selfish lie, one failed boast, one hoarded secret, and it collapses. So the revolutionary had to solve a second machine, the group itself. Who gets taught first? Who receives the better spear? Who owns an idea when everyone's survival paid for the experiment? The first intellectual property dispute probably happened without property or writing, and somehow the knowledge still had to spread. So, could you become a prehistoric genius? Maybe, but not by reciting facts from the future. You would need to notice a costly problem everyone else accepts as normal. Find a hidden behavior in common material. Combine old ideas in a way that produces a new result. Make it work under hunger, rain, fear, and bad luck. Then make it work in somebody else's hands. Teach it without making people feel stupid. Share enough credit that the group protects the idea. Improve survival enough that people repeat your method after you are gone. Do that, and nobody needs a word for genius. Your name may disappear. Your face certainly will. But your decision can hide inside a knot, a recipe, a warning, a habit. And 70,000 years later, strangers will perform it without knowing you existed. That may be the oldest kind of immortality humans ever invented.